This lesson will demonstrate that a lot of the time, IDEA can do the refactoring for you. Let's open the movie class. As you can see from the yellow inspection status, IDEA thinks that this file can be improved. Press F2 to jump to the first problem. Here we can see that the title field should be final. Alt-Enter will fix that for us. Let's press F2 again to go to the next problem. An unused setter method. Setter methods shouldn't be created just in case, and if we need to mutate the state of the object, we can add that later. Alt-Enter will offer to delete the method. Enter will confirm the deletion. Now that there's nothing changing the price code field, this can be made final, and IDEA has noticed. F2 again, then Alt-Enter to fix. Now the inspector is green. Great. Now let's have another go, this time with the customer class. This will be a little more tricky. Before we change the code at all, we should run the video store tests. As we have them selected in the Run menu, using Shift F10 will run them for us. They pass. Now we can refactor. Again, the inspector has some issues. Let's start getting rid of them by jumping to the first problem with F2. This is complaining about unchecked call, which means that the code doesn't use generic classes properly. It's probably because it's quite old. Let's jump to the declaration of rentals with Ctrl B. Right, it's a generic collection class with no type parameter. Jump back with Ctrl Alt Left. Notice lower down in the code, because of the lack of generic types, casts have to be used on each rental. Now, use Alt-Enter to generify. Press Enter to accept the default settings. Notice that the cast has been removed. F2 again for the next problem. This method is never used outside this class, so it can be private. Alt-Enter. F2 again. Now IDEA suggests that the enumeration should probably be an iterator. Alt-Enter. It's now an iterator. That while loop looks a little bit suspicious. It's almost like a for each loop, but IntelliJ isn't telling us. Let's move the iterator and the loop next to each other with Ctrl Shift down. Now IntelliJ is telling us there's a problem. Everything that's highlighted in brown is something IntelliJ thinks is a problem. Similarly, everything in grey is something it thinks is unused or is unnecessary. Let's use F2 and Alt-Enter a few more times. This will remove unnecessary syntax, add final to the fields, and optimize the imports. Finally, only one thing is left: use of an obsolete collection type. We have to fix this one by hand. We want to change the left-hand side of the rentals to be a list. Move the cursor to the start of the vector declaration and type just capital L. IntelliJ immediately suggests Java util list. Use Tab to accept the suggestion. Then we need to fix the right-hand side. Move the cursor to the start of vector and press Ctrl space. IDEA suggests Java util ArrayList. Use Tab to accept. Accepting the suggestion with Tab will overwrite the current code. Accepting it with Enter would have inserted. Now, IDEA has noticed one more problem. F2 to jump there. The interfaces of vector and list are not compatible, and add element is not available on a list. This is highlighted in red, as this is a compilation problem. Control space to suggest. then pick Add and Tab. Finally, we want to move those fields to the top of the class and fix up the formatting. Ctrl-Alt-Shift-L. Choose Rearrange and Enter. The inspector is now green. Rerun the tests with Shift F10. They all pass and we can move on.